Hello. Today I wanted to showcase this cute little mini conlang that I made, whose main feature is that all the writing looks like different antlers, which I think is kind of a goofy fun thing. You can see each antler is one different word, and the features of the antler tell you how to say it. So yeah, here's a bunch of different ones, a bunch of short different sentences that I made, and then here is the key. So these vowels show up twice because you actually use these vowels as like the base shape for the entire word. So whichever letter this word starts with, that will determine the shape of the base, and then the rest of these little pieces, you add them in order from left to right on the word, and that tells you how to say it. So just for an example, I'm gonna write a word quick. So let's say the word is e, I, U, imipu. So you since it's the first letter, you find this and you write it like that. So it's the base. Then you find the M. It's like a long straight one. Then you get the E, so it's on the bottom and it curves a bit, but it's pretty short. I think that's the short one. Yeah, that's the short one. And then you got the P, which is a straight one, but it's short. And then U, which is back, and it's curved the other way. So if I wanted, I could kind of spread these out a bit more. I don't know what would look the best, but yeah, that's basically it for the writing system. I have a little bit of a grammar system and lexicon, although it's very small and underdeveloped because it's a mini conlang, but yeah, I can show you that now. Alright, so this is the document that kind of tells you how to do things. Like I said, it's very, very small. This is the whole lexicon. But yeah, so basically how this works is the first letter that you use to determine the shape of the base of the letter, or of the word, I guess, it also kind of determines the entire theme for the word. So it's kind of like a noun case system, I think it's called, except it's for all words, not just nouns. And if I wanted to expand this conlang further, I'd probably make more categories, but for now I just have these 7. But yeah, so the first letter is kind of a double thing because it both determines the shape of the entire letter and also the topic of the letter. So you can kind of infer a bit just from the shape of the antler. But yeah, it's in the second letter. So the second letter has a few different functions, right? So it tells you whether it's a verb, a noun, or an adjective. And it can also do a lot of other things so it also tells you the subject of the verb if it's a verb. And we have first person singular, second person singular, third singular, first plural, second plural, third plural, and also if it's an infinitive, you can use the sh. If it's a noun, it says whether it's proper or common. And then if it's an adjective, you can say if it's either a regular adjective, a comparative adjective, or a superlative adjective. And so comparative means like when you add like er to an adjective in English, like fast, faster, and then superlative is fastest. So you can use these to determine that. And then letter 3 kind of expands on these, so, and they go across. So if you have an infinitive, you don't need a letter 3 that has any kind of meaning in here. But if you have a conjugated verb, then any of these can go into any of these, which determine the, what's it called? It determines like the form of the pronoun. So you can have a nominative, pronoun, accusative, genitive, dative, locative, or ablative. If I remember this correctly, nominative is like I, accusative is me, genitive is mine, dative is to me, locative is at me, and ablative is from me. And those can go, for all of the different types of pronouns. One thing I forgot to include is any kind of tense, so I'm just going to say that there's no tense in this language. But yeah, and then if you have a noun, you can follow it up with either singular or plural. So you see how there's an E here and an E here. So whether or not, so the choice of second letter can impact the choice of the meaning of the third letter, right? So if you have an E after la, you know that that's a verb and you're talking about a genitive, third person singular. But if you have an E after a p, then you know that it's a singular proper noun. But yeah, or a plural proper noun or plural common noun. And then also if you add an a after any kind of adjective, it turns it into an adverb instead of an adjective. But if there's not an a here, if there's anything else, that means that it is an adjective after this. Right, and then anything else can just be added to make different words, right? Because you can't make every word with just these. So that can infer more meaning. But yeah, so if you look at the lexicon, so like let's take a for language, right? If you want to make language into a verb, you can add sh to make the infinitive. It's kind of like to language, so that would mean to speak or talk, and so that would just be ash. It's the simplest language verb. And if you wanted to conjugate this, you would take off the sh and conjugate it to whatever. And so another variation of ash is ashel, which is to yell. You can make that into like I yell, or something, any kind of way that you want to conjugate it. And yeah, this kind of shows just a very brief lexicon I have, going through the different first letters and seeing what kind of simple things I can make. So because I kind of like completely skipped most of the grammar for this, it kind of led to some weird things, but I think it ended up being kind of cool. So let me try to give an example. So if you wanted to say I speak api to you, which is the name of the language, because it's the language first letter followed by the proper noun followed by the singular, so it's like the singular proper language. But yeah, so if I wanted to say I speak api to you, what I could do is say I speak, right? So ash, but you take out the sh, so it's a, first person singular, nominative, right? So that's I. So this is I speak right now. if I wanted to say to you, I could use the second person singular, right? That's you, and then to you would be dative. So it would be I speak to you. If I wanted to say I speak api to you, I could refer to api as a third person singular it, basically, right? And do la, or no, le, I think it would be for accusative, awaleyo, and then it would refer to api. So if instead you wanted to say I speak api to something else, you could do like lo, and then you'd have to specify over here. So what could I say? To mother ebim. Right, and so I don't know if this makes sense, but the order in which these come up is reflected in here, so in the rest of the sentence. So I think, I guess in theory you could just do lo, le, and then switch these around, because you'd still know I'm speaking to the mother, it, and it is api. So yeah, that's kind of like a weird thing, but yeah, this is actually what's on the thumbnail if you didn't catch, but yeah, that might be it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Any other comments you have. There is another, like, actually more full conlang that I'm kind of working on that I'll probably showcase eventually, but I don't want to just show the complete bare bones and nothing else and then probably stop working on it. So I want to get at least a decent amount done before I showcase it. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I'll see you later.